What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Goat Shed Sports Podcast. As always, I'm Nick Connected. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's just Jacob Bowles. Jacob, welcome back. How's it going?
Good to be back. We are recording this 2 weeks after we recorded our last episode, so we kind of have some things to fill in with you guys. Some news that's been making its way around in the sports world. So I guess there's no better way to do it than just hop right in.
Yeah, so I guess before we get into because last week we talked about the NFC, we'll be talking about the AFC. There's just some sports news we wanted to talk about. The NBA bubble has commenced. Teams are going down. Players that have tested positive are staying back, and they, I believe, have to test negative twice, and then they're gonna make their way to the bubble. So
Yeah.
Troy Daniels is riding the water slide, so I think it's a smashing success.
I think the only complaint I've seen really so far is possibly the food.
I don't know, bro.
But
I saw
it doesn't look that bad.
They got the Mickey Mouse waffles. I saw that.
I've seen a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure these guys are used to the best you can kind of get. But
a lot of them have personal chefs. So I saw an actual quote from Ja Morant, and he said, "The rooms are fine, the food's fine. I'm not a silver spoon guy. I could care less."
Yeah, so it basically if you can get past the food. It's nothing crazy, and they have the whole entire park to the players, and I think MSL soccer's there as well. But I think they've pretty much free roam of the whole park, and yeah, as you said, Troy Daniels was checking out the water slide tonight. It's kind of funny. I like the whole idea.
Yeah,
I think they do. We're only a day or two in maybe at this point, but I think
Raptors have been there for a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, Raptors got down there at the start of the month.
Wow. Well,
maybe it's just because of Canadian laws and how they're. I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is Raptors been down there for a minute because Serge was giving the inside scoop on the ring. He was posting on his TikTok the detection ring or whatever.
Oh yeah, the little COVID. That's pretty cool. Little design right there. But other than that, I'm trying to think in the sports. NFL. Since we're kind of talking about that today, two kind of big things happened. First off, I'll just talk about Cam Newton finally got signed.
Yeah, it's the Patriots.
To the New England Patriots.
If you're a Patriots fan, I feel like you got to be ecstatic because as good as Tom Brady's been his whole career, and now in this current time, Cam Newton is better than Tom Brady. So if you're a Patriots fan, you got to be ecstatic. As long as Cam's shoulder can hold up, they are a Super Bowl contender because of that defense.
Tom Brady didn't play the best of his career.
And they were a contender last year.
They were a contender last year, yeah. And they're in an easy division. They've got everything ready for you. Plus, they have Cam Newton on one of the smallest salaries you can kind of get, I think. They're really saving a lot with that, and he's going to get the job done for him. So he's a really good.
Cam. I love Cam. There's so many Cam haters out there, and I just don't understand it. Cam has gotten so much hate over his career just for, I guess, his flamboyance, you could say.
I was a little sad when he beat the Colts or the Broncos in the Super Bowl, but I'll let that slide. But yeah, I like Cam a lot. He's a really good quarterback, and I think he's definitely going to prove some people wrong this year, who kind of read him off. I hope so, at least. And then I guess you want to talk about the other big news.
Patrick Mahomes, for any of you that don't know, so I'm sitting there. I'm going to take you through the story time of Nick. I'm sitting there. I'm doing some paperwork, doing some adult things, and I look in the bottom right of my laptop, and there's a notification. Patrick Mahomes signs 10-year extension. I was like, 10-year extension? And then I click on the extension and see it's $503 billion. Jesus, $503 million, $500 million bucks. That's the biggest contract in sports history, Patty.
Yeah, and Nick and I were talking about kind of the details of the contract. He gets 140 of that guaranteed.
I think
even if he gets a career-ending injury.
140 injury guaranteed, and then I think he's got upmost of 400 guaranteed. In if he sits, I don't know exactly. I know it's if Patrick Mahomes was to I don't know, get in an accident or something, like, you could, Andrew Bynum in the NBA, if you remember that Lakers center from the early 2000s who, like, tore his ACL bowling. If Patrick Mahomes was to tear his ACL bowling, he still has $140 million that he'd just get. Well, not get. He'd get paid. It'd get paid over the 10 years, I think. Still, like,
But I mean,
Patrick
no,
Mahomes. I mean, he deserves the money.
You're getting your bang for your buck with Patrick Mahomes.
I truly think in about 10 to 15 years, this LeBron James Michael Jordan debate we have now will be having about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Like,
it'll be Patrick Mahomes. I feel like, though, he's got the potential. He's got everything working for him.
Second year and already has the Super Bowl, and he was like just pure dominant. I mean, he came the comeback in every single playoff series for them. Playoff games for them this year. I mean, Patty's just insane. Like, I mean, everyone sucks up Patty, especially from the mainstream media. But I mean, when you're that good,
there's a reason they do.
There's a reason.
He's just that good and that dominant, and he's going to be there for a long time, and I don't see the Chiefs going anywhere with him behind the wheel.
Yeah, no.
Or not like, I mean, going,
Yeah, I get you.
You know what I mean. So, yeah, I think that's all the big NFL news at this point, and I think if there are any soccer fans out there in the Premier League in the 2-week span that we were gone, Liverpool, for the first time in 30 years and first Premier League title they won. Man City lost to Chelsea, which clinched them the title. So good for them. Congrats. Go for the Reds. But yeah, I think that's the only other big news. Maybe hockey. I know hockey playoffs are starting August 1st, I believe.
Yep, they're getting their ball moving.
So I don't know any of the details about that or like what city it's in or anything, but I just know that is happening at this point, and I think the playoffs begin in August, something like that.
Sports,
yeah, we're coming back. It's a good sign.
It's a great sign.
We're making good progress, yeah.
So I guess we'll get into this. Last week was the NFC. This week is the AFC. Again, just like last week, we're starting from the bottom of the conference, making our way up. So we're going to talk about the worst team in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals, who had, I mean, they franchise tagged AJ Green, who was out basically all of last year. And then they obviously drafted T. Higgins with their second round pick at 33 from Clemson, the wide receiver. But I think, the big thing, the Red Rocket's gone. It's Joe Burrow with the number one pick that everyone's excited to see. I mean, I hate the Bengals as much as the next guy, but I love Joe Burrow as much as the next guy, so I'm very conflicted.
I really like Joe Burrow, and I really hope he can do something to turn this franchise around. Well, I mean, like, I personally couldn't care if the Bengals ever did anything, but I want Joey Burrow.
And especially when you look at the offensive threats he has now. I mean, he's going to have AJ Green could stay healthy. AJ Green, T. Higgins can play like he did in college, and then Joe Mixon and Giovanni Bernard at the running back. It's not a bad team, man. Not a bad team. I feel like this is going to be a common recurrence that I say today, because when we talk about the four teams in that division, but I really do think that the AFC North is going to be the best division in football this year.
This year?
Yeah, I think this NFL season is going to be the best division of them, just the most like competitive.
I could see that, but I also just think it might be the most competitive out of them.
At least in the AFC, it's going to be the most competitive.
Yeah, it's going to be the tightest race for a first place finish in the division, and then trying to fight for a wild card spot if you're one of those other teams in there. Because I mean, I think the Steelers last year went 8-8, and they were close.
They were
close to a playoff berth.
They were right under the Titans, who almost made it.
Right under the Titans, who got the last wild card spot. Yeah,
always made it. That Derrick Henry football. But I guess we'll get to there. So I guess we can talk about the Dolphins. I mean,
we'll jump on over to the second worst record in the AFC conference, the Miami Dolphins, with Ryan Goat Fitzpatrick.
Well, I mean,
Not anymore.
Not I'm about to say not anymore. It's gonna be Tua,
The
baby.
new acquisition of Tua. You can give it a shot. Everybody just calls him Tua anyway. But yeah, I mean, out of Alabama, he did some really great things there. I mean, I think he came in and subbed on and won the national championship, right? I believe against Clemson. And then Jalen Hurts transferred out, so I mean, he's shown that he can come in and take over a situation and be a winning quarterback. I mean, I don't know if he can necessarily do that with this Dolphins team, but I mean, I wouldn't put him past them. They've got some decent names.
Are you ready for this, Jacob?
Yeah.
Tongue o Vela.
Ooh,
Just look to the pronunciation.
that was like Tagovailoa or something like that.
Maybe I read it wrong. Tua, who cares? That's his name. But yeah,
But yeah,
I mean, the Dolphins are still gonna suck next year, but they might not suck as bad.
still in a very tough division where you have to compete with the Patriots and the
Bills.
dare I say the Bills.
The
anymore.
Bills were in the playoffs. You know, they made it this year. I mean, they were
I
damn
know.
good this year.
I know, but you don't really hear
Oh,
Bills
I
and like
know.
winning teams.
Yeah,
like,
you don't really like see the Bills being 10-6, and you know, but hey, they are now. Bills were a
So
damn
I
good
mean,
team.
yeah. So I mean, if the Dolphins can win a couple games against their division rivals, I mean, like they beat the Patriots last year, which got the Chiefs to get that first round bye.
Hmm.
But hey, if they can do some stuff like that again, maybe win some of these bigger games, make sure they win the games they're supposed to win. I think Tua can maybe, I wouldn't say make it to the playoffs this year, maybe next year. Just get it started.
Yeah, get the ball rolling. I guess they one more big signing. I guess completely forgot. The Dolphins signed Byron Jones,
Oh, really?
cornerback that played for Dallas last year, the Pro Bowler. I don't know if he was a Pro Bowler, but he Pro Bowl caliber player his whole career. Yeah, he went over
Yeah.
to the Dolphins. Dolphins had a pretty good offseason. They signed, they got Byron Jones, and then they got a couple. From what I can remember, I did not research before this. I just follow, for all my people that do know, I'm a Miami Heat fan, so I follow this South Florida news outlet, and so I saw all the Dolphin stuff this offseason just on their Twitter page. So I feel like I am pretty cultured in the yes. They got Byron Jones, Jordan Howard running back, of course. Jordan Howard. They got Eric Flowers. Yes, they made some good signings to stay competitive or become competitive again, I guess.
Yeah. I think they're definitely taking the right steps, and Tua is one of the better quarterbacks in this draft.
I
And so
think
I
he's
mean,
going to be the best. Sorry,
it was a no-brainer to
I don't
pick
know,
him.
dude. I think he might have a. I don't know. I think I like him more than Joe for an
If he
NFL
can stay
quarterback.
healthy, then yeah, I think so. I mean, you can kind of say that about anyone, really.
Yeah, I think I'm the best quarterback in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I'll draft you first overall, Nick Knight.
Dude, that'd be freaking cute.
But then I guess we'll move on to the next worst record in the AFC.
Yeah, that's
The,
surprise. I don't remember him being this bad this year.
yeah, the Los Angeles
They're
Chargers.
terrible.
It's still weird for me to say Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah,
And
not San Diego.
I hate it. I'm so used to it.
I know.
But we got the LA Chargers now, who
New
just
looks,
just lost their QB1,
but they drafted a new
Philip
QB
Rivers,
one.
but they drafted their new QB1
Justin
in
Herbert.
Justin Herbert out of Oregon.
I like Justin a lot. Dude, I feel like this quarterback class was like portrayed as weaker. No,
I think there is 3, 4 big names, and the rest are just there. I mean, you've got Joey Burrow, Tua, Justin Herbert. I guess you can say Jordan Love because I mean he went first round.
that was such a stupid draft pick.
I know. We talked about that last week.
Oh my god, that was such a stupid pick. Let's move on before Aaron Rodgers' career.
We're done with
wasted.
it. We're done with the
They
NFC.
wasted Rodgers, bro. But I mean, I don't know. The
I mean, they got rid of
Chargers.
Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah, oh my God, Melvin. We're gonna be talking about him in a couple teams. I forgot about that. Yeah, the Chargers suck.
Keenan Allen's a big name on that team. I mean,
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, like, and their team sucks. Like, sorry.
they kind of, yeah,
They got
it's
worse this year too. I mean, I
it's
guess
definitely
Austin Eckler's a beast. Oh, I will say that Austin Eckler's a beast.
it's a rebuilding year for the Chargers, and I don't know. It might take them a few years to start doing anything again, especially in that division they're in. When you know you have to face Patrick Mahomes twice a year for the next 10 years, that
Yeah.
never helps. No, so it's gonna be tough for the Chargers.
I guess going on to this next team, the Jaguars, a team that had a pretty and I would say a quiet off season. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't really make any big signings. I mean, they obviously a worse team, not one of the better teams. So, they had their draft picks, but like from a signing standpoint, they didn't add much. They lost Jalen Ramsey into the season, I believe. Didn't they also lose AJ Bouye?
Sure.
Didn't AJ Bouye also leave? Didn't he sign with the Broncos this year? So the Jaguars with their first pick got C.J. Henderson, the cornerback from Florida, and then with their second first round pick, they got LSU's linebacker, I believe, outside line. So I feel they made some good draft picks, but other than that, I feel like their signing, they lost more than they gained.
Yeah, I guess they got what they maybe needed in role players in the draft, but they've still got a couple. I mean, you look at Leonard Fournette, who was good his first
He
two,
just can't
maybe
stay.
3
He can't stay
years,
healthy.
and then he's just been kind of falling off ever since. So I don't know if he can maybe find his rhythm again, or if the Jaguars kind of need to just look to their future. And I mean, Gardner Minshew is not a franchise quarterback, so I don't know. I don't know what the Jaguars are doing.
Don't you
but I don't
disrespect
mind.
Gardner, man. He's
I don't
swag.
mind if they stay this way. I mean, they're in the Colts division. It just I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind a free 2 games a year. I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah, the Jags, from that 2017 conference finals game when they're Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye, Miles Jack defense was insane. You had Blake Bortles just, kind of dragging his team along.
Bortles.
And then it just, it fell off. I don't see them being good this year. I feel like it's going to be a couple more years of rebuilding at the very least.
They have Tyler Eifert too.
Stop.
Sorry.
That man cannot stay healthy to save his life. All right, I guess moving on, I'll lead us into the Cleveland Brown debate. Listen, we're not going to be bad this year. It was a sophomore slump for Baker, learning how to play with Odell. A lot of hype and a lot of pressure. We've made some good draft picks for once. Baker was obviously Denzel and Nick Chubb were obviously good draft picks. But I'm saying, besides the skill positioning, we drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. We drafted Jarek Willis Jr. We needed that. Our offensive line was terrible. They were either letting Baker get sacked, giving Baker no time, or getting penalties all of last season. We signed Austin Hooper, which is a big signing. David Njoku has requested a trade, but that's fine because we signed Austin Hooper, so it's bye, later. Peace.
Yeah, peace out.
We'll get a draft pick off you. I think we also drafted in the 4th round another tight end. I believe his name was Harrison Bryant. So, the Browns obviously
still got Miles Garrett on the defense, smacking people with helmets.
He's back. He is back. Oh, another big. We drafted Grant Delpit from, I believe that was the LSU safety. We needed that because we lost one safety. So now the Browns are looking nice. I really think we're gonna have a good year. I think we are gonna be second in our division this year. I think we'll take second. Okay. We'll take that wild card game, and we will win our first round matchup.
I'm just going to say this again. I think I said this before the start of last year. The Browns look good on paper. It's just performing and executing how
Dude,
I
and
know.
also, Freddie Kitchens is gone. Thank God. That guy was an idiot.
I mean, yes, that was definitely a big part of it, but not the entirety. And
Oh no, not the entirety, but he's terrible.
I definitely think, like you said, I think they could maybe get that second seed in the division.
I think
It's
they
just
definitely will. I think
it's gonna be tough with this. I mean, we'll talk about the Steelers in a little bit, but I'll give my reasoning then. I'll bring back the Browns. We'll move on now. So I guess we'll start at the bottom. We'll start with the Colts, I guess. Another a 7-win team, the first one. But yeah, my Colts just I don't know what happened last year. I mean, obviously Andrew Luck
I was
retiring
about to say.
anything. But I mean, we've got Phillip Rivers. That's as nice as well. I guess I don't know. I'm still.
It's a
conflicted
1-year
about
deal
it.
at the end of the day.
It's what I got to deal with. He's a very veteran quarterback. He knows what he's doing. I'm sure he'll feel comfortable around a great offensive line where he has time. Got all the
Where
weapons.
Quentin Nelson can cradle him like a baby and not let anyone touch him.
Oh, I mean, I think I saw a stat where he's gone 30 games without letting up a sack, which is kind of.
Dude, he is so good. Quentin Nelson
It's
is
kind of
an
insane.
animal.
I mean, yeah, you got drafted Jonathan Taylor to go alongside Marlon Mack, so that's a big 1-2 punch right there.
The second best running back in the draft.
Paris Campbell, T.Y. Hilton.
I hope Paris starts playing this year, man.
I hope so.
I hope Paris starts playing.
I'm pretty sure, wasn't he hurt last year?
I believe.
I want to say he was hurt last year and he didn't really play much.
And then he couldn't work into the rotation.
Yeah, so I like the Colts' chances. I've seen a lot of analysts and people liking their chances, and I don't want to get my hopes too high, but it's looking good. It's not as it would look 100 times better if we still had Andrew Luck under the.
Oh, Andrew! I mean, he
under
obviously cannot stay healthy, but I mean, Andrew Luck, he was. If he could stay healthy, man, I just would like to see where he would be in all-time standings at the end of his career.
I would have gave him a 10-year, $500 million contract.
I mean, if he was able to, I mean, he had the biggest NFL quarterback contract at one point.
I mean, he
secured the bag. I mean, I wish he was able to stay healthy because if Andrew Luck could have stayed healthy, I mean, it could have been like the next Peyton Manning right there, you know, in Indy.
I would have been so happy to have Peyton Manning followed back up by Andrew Luck. I mean, it was almost like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's kind of like the Packers going from Brett Favre to Rodgers. Wow, we're adorable.
Look at that.
Hey, this is some NFC news, but can we talk about it? Because we didn't talk about it last time. But the Rams' new logo is freaking disgusting. Did you see that?
Let me scroll. Oh, it's like a
ram.
With a horn.
Yeah, it's like a ram. It's a ram that makes the LA. Isn't that just terrible?
Yeah, that's actually they tried way too hard.
And their new jerseys are so ugly. I just wanted to put that out there, just so you know.
I hate like that mustard yellow color they use.
Dude, all right. Let's.
Okay. Anyway,
I can hate
about the Rams. Just let us know. We'll complain about the Rams.
I guess you want to go into the Raiders then.
Yeah, we'll go to the Raiders.
Go to the Raiders. We'll talk a little Las Vegas Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders. They are officially the Las Vegas Raiders. So big ups to that. I remember when I heard on draft night hearing Roger Goodell go the Las Vegas Raiders. I was like, oh my god, that sounds so cool. Like.
I mean, I think it's sweet, but it's another one where I'm just like, Las Vegas, or in Oakland. I mean, that's just I've known them for 19 years.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be weird, but I mean, I'm so happy Vegas has an actual. I mean, I guess they have the Golden Knights, obviously, in the NHL that recently got added as an expansion franchise. But I'm just like talking about, in my eyes, hockey's awesome. The holy trinity is the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB, and I'm glad Vegas has one of those now. Like, Vegas needed an NFL or an NBA team, but like a football in Vegas is what needed to happen.
Have you seen their stadium?
It is dude, it's so beautiful.
I think it's under construction, but it's fantastic. Or it might be. It's probably close.
So, for Jacob knows this. For the people out there, me and one of my close buddy Levi, we go to an NFL game every year. We've done it the last 3 years. We've actually sometimes gone to 2, but this year we were gonna go to a Broncos Raiders game in Vegas because we've both been 21, but I don't think it's gonna obviously happen now because who knows how they're gonna be doing seedings and
Yeah,
how.
I mean, if you can
But
even get in here.
but man, I mean, I'm that stadium. I feel like the stadium's. I'd rather talk about the stadium than the team.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about the Las Vegas Raiders, I mean,
You think
there's
about
really
you
not
think
a
about
ton of
that.
names that stand out.
You think about that one preseason game with Antonio Brown on the sideline.
I mean, yeah, he was there. He showed up. He had a jersey. I mean, you have Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota now, so two pretty
And Deshaun Kaiser.
and Nathan Peterman.
Man, that quarterback room is stacked with freaking busting bums.
Oh, he's from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that. Josh Jacobs. I mean, that's very good. Second
Yeah,
year
he
running
had
back.
he had a pretty good rookie year for sure.
Yeah.
Great
Didn't say
fantasy
if you
player.
can bring the same out, that'll be very, very good for the Raiders. But then, just there's nothing, no one else really. I mean, you got Hunter Renfro, who's decent. I don't know. I can't really. I don't have much to say about the Raiders. Like I could talk about their stadium for a while, like you said, but
Exactly. I mean, their stadium is freaking crazy, man.
but yeah, I mean Raiders. I don't know. I guess John Gruden might be knowing what he's doing. I just again, it's another one of those teams where they're stuck in the AFC West with the Chiefs again.
And the
So
Broncos.
and the Broncos, so it's almost like they have to just kind of focus on fighting for a wild card spot,
I guess
if anything.
dude, I think all right, man. The Broncos, because that's our next team we got to talk about. Dude, the Broncos are going to be so absurdly good this year. The Broncos are going to be so. I did like they're going to be fighting with the Chiefs for the #1 spot because Drew Lock showed so much pizzazz and potential. They signed Melvin Gordon. They signed Jarrell Casey. They signed AJ Bouye. I was right. They did sign AJ Bouye. And then you look at that stacked defense they already have. Bradley Chubb will come back healthy this year. They got Von Miller. Dude, they got something Simmons, I believe his name is, the safety dude. They're just, dude, the Broncos. I mean,
Justin Simmons, yeah.
Justin Simmons, yes. I knew. I was thinking Jack for some reason.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the Broncos are. Bold claim time. I think the Broncos will win 11 games this year.
Do you think they still get a wild card spot, or do you think they win the division?
No, I think the Chiefs win like 13.
I still think the Chiefs definitely win the division, but
I think the Broncos are just going to be so good this year, though. I'm high on the Broncos.
I mean, they're a very young, exciting team, and I mean, their defense led them to a Super Bowl, what, five years ago, maybe something like that.
And their defense
5-6 now?
almost led them to a wild card slot this year.
So I mean, yeah, I mean, they really didn't have a break. I mean, I don't think Drew Lock played the entire season. He came on
he was
later.
injured. He was injured. Yeah. Who was playing? Case Keenum?
Case Keenum.
No, Case Keenum was on the Redskins this year. Who was their quarterback at the? Dude, I went to
Driscoll?
I went to a Broncos game. Joe Flacco. Joe
Is
Flacco.
Is he still on the roster?
No, I think they cut him.
I was gonna say.
But yeah, no.
Wait,
Yeah,
so no team has Joe Flacco right now?
did he cut him or he was traded? You know what? I'll do the research.
I'm gonna look it up.
Joe Flacco.
He's on the Jets.
Is he?
I think we're talking about the Jets soon, so I guess we'll bring him up. But I mean, yeah, Denver. I really like what they're going. They're one of the few teams we've talked about so far. I'd say besides the Colts and the Browns, who have
we think
maybe
are gonna make a dramatic bounce.
have made some really kind of big ideas and picks for the future where they think they want to kind of contend and try to win now.
Mhm.
So good for them. I used to be a Broncos fan, so I wish them the best. So guys, next we'll zoom on over to the Jets then.
I mean, they're the Jets.
Yay. They went 7-9 in the worst division in football, I'd say. Well, one of the no, okay, I forgot about the NFC East.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, they got some, they got C.J. Mosley, they got Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Isn't Jamal Adams one out? Didn't he request a
I
trade?
wouldn't doubt it if he did.
Their best player, didn't he request a trade? Like, I mean, Sam Darnold's been lackluster. Their receiving course just god awful. I couldn't name one off the top of my
Sam
head.
Darnold came to people. I thought he was going to be pretty good.
I remember when everyone wanted the Browns to draft. I'm so glad with Baker. I mean, obviously Baker did not have a good year, but you look what he did his rookie year, and
I'd
it was
take Baker
fluke.
over.
It's not
Sam
a fluke.
Darnold.
Baker will do it again. I promise. Sam Darnold has just been atrocious. Le'Veon Bell could not get it going here. I mean, I guess they picked up Frank Gore, so that's
I'm pretty sure Le'Veon Bell said he wanted to leave too, but I don't think the coach will let him or wants him to.
Yeah, I think they. Well, yeah, maybe he'll sit out again.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they figure that out or not.
The Jets are winning 5 games this year.
So they're winning less than they did. I could definitely see it.
No.
I think
if they lose Jamal Adams, they definitely do.
They'll do worse than the Dolphins.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
somehow they'll do worse than the Dolphins.
Yeah, if Jamal Adams wants out, they're done. Like, he's their best player.
There's really not much news on the Jets. Sorry, any Jets fans out there.
No, I'm gonna speak to the heart.
I don't think I've ever met.
I hate New York. All right, the Yankees, the Jets, the Knicks. If you're a fan of any of those franchises, I don't care about your feelings.
The Giants.
Yeah, the Giants are fine. I love Eli, but I'm just the Jets. The Mets are fine. It's like it's always just that one franchise. The Mets are fine.
Screw
the Yankees. The Mets are just irrelevant, but screw the Yankees.
It's just the Yankees in general.
But I'm also a Sox fan, so that's why I hate the Yankees.
Yeah,
I was so happy I went to vacation. Obviously, that's why we recorded last week's episode the week before. And in the bottom of the beach house was this broken Yankees boogie board. It made me so happy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was like, screw the Yankees. But I guess now we're finally getting in some good, exciting teams. And as much as I hate the Steelers, bro, they always find a way to freaking win, and it makes me mad.
Well, they had no quarterbacks last year. I mean, you had Duck Hodges and
Mason Rudolph.
Yes.
He's the one that got hit in the head.
I was going to say, it's right on to my tongue. I couldn't remember it. But, I mean, those two led them to an 8-8 record.
Juju had a lackluster year. And they lost Antonio Brown and Le'Veon.
Yeah, it's definitely saying something about the rest of their team. They've got a very solid team where they all know their roles. They know what they're doing. They just needed that quarterback or that kind of leader role. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger's coming back, supposed to.
And then their defense, Mika Fitzpatrick just turned into a animal after he got traded from the Dolphins. TJ Watt is a beast.
Oh my gosh!
And guess what? Do you know who they signed? Do you know who they signed?
His brother.
They got Derek Watt. Do you think they could I know JJ is very happy and loves Houston and he's the hero of Houston, but dude, they got the firepower. Imagine if they get all 3 of those massive boys on their team. I mean, Derek's obviously a fullback, so they don't get love, and they're more used as just blocking and situational players.
Little utility players, yeah.
But hey, dude, respect to the fullbacks, respect to the Watts, man. They're all beasts. I mean,
they're major athletes right there. I mean, runs in the family.
Obviously, I mean, the Steelers. That's why I'm saying that the AFC North is going to be so contested because the Steelers are going to be a good team. The Bengals will probably be a halfway competent team. The Browns are going to be a good team, and the Ravens obviously have Lamar Jackson.
The former MVP, yeah.
The reigning MVP, the sensation, the freaking I mean, we're obviously going to get to the Ravens, but I think us and along with all of America are very high on Lamar Jackson.
I really like just looking at this roster, James Conner, a lot of these names, Juju. They just picked up Eric Ebron, who is pretty decent.
They got Eric Ebron?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a solid tight end, man.
He's pretty good. I mean, he has his moments.
He had his moments, especially when Jack Doyle was injured. He had a lot of moments.
So I like the Steelers' chances. I mean, they have a former Ohio State player, J.T. Barrett, also on the team.
Don't do that. Don't give me
I'm
hope.
I'm sorry.
JT.
I literally thought he was gonna play last year because I think they brought him on like really late in the season towards the end.
That would have been crazy. No, I love JT, but he ain't playing in the NFL, brother.
He's just there.
He's just there. I mean, he's just a great college quarterback. Great college quarterback. Great.
That's all he needed to be.
I guess we'll move
We have to
on
move on.
to
The first of the playoff teams.
The first of the playoff teams, and I guess kind of a team that is only good because of one player.
Yeah, literally though.
Can we talk about that? Okay, I need to pull up the exact numbers. Ryan Tannehill.
I want to say, wait, let me guess. Are you talking about his contract?
Yes.
I want to say, I think it was a 4-year, $127 million.
Four-year, $118 million with $62 million fully guaranteed.
Oh, close.
And $91 million in total guarantees. Ryan
For the
Tannehill
guy-
is not good. He is
For the guy who
consistent.
hands the ball to the best player on the team, Derrick Henry.
He is a consistently decent, like, get you. I guess they're paying for the consistency here. Like he doesn't have two bad games, but he doesn't have good games. Like he just has those consistently average games, and I guess that's what you're paying for. But man, you gotta let Ryan Tannehill walk for that much and just move on to the next guy. Like you can't just pay Ryan Tannehill $118 million because he almost got you to a Super Bowl, handing the ball off to Derrick Henry. Sorry, welcome to my TED Talk.
I forget how many passes he threw in the game against the Patriots. But I want to say it might have been under 10.
7. It was 7, I believe.
It was 7? Yeah.
What was that? The first round?
It was the first round against the Patriots, yeah.
2018 Patriots versus Titans playoffs box score. I'm here to do the mid-podcast research. January 4th, 2020, 20-30. Box score. Ryan Tannehill, 8 for 15. 8 passes. 8.
8 for 15, yep.
8.
72 yards.
72
And the next game, he went 7 for 14.
Yeah, like...
when they beat the Ravens. So, I don't understand. I mean when you throw 15 passes... When you complete 15 passes in 2 games, and you get 117 million? 18 million?
I mean, like, now it feels we're just talking chump change because of Patty's deal, but, like, 118 million for a decent quarterback? Like, 118 million dollars, bro. 118. Think about all, like, the amazing NFL players that are, like, the wide receiver, running back, or other positions that don't get that quarterback money, and you just like imagine being on the Titans and you just
imagine being Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's gonna get a monster extension.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's gonna get.
Derrick Henry's gonna get the biggest running back contract since Todd Gurley's one they signed, and Todd Gurley's not even on that team anymore.
I didn't realize he's 6'3".
Dude, Derrick Henry is a freaking giant. You don't remember him?
I mean, yeah.
Do you remember just seeing that man in college? And at Bama, his Heisman year.
I knew he was like a monster, but like 6'3", 250, and he's able to run that fast and hard.
He's crazy, man.
Insane. I mean, what an athlete.
What a man.
What a man and a half right there.
Dude, he's terrifying. Imagine just being the guy that's gonna go tackle him.
Yeah, it's like, good luck. You're not gonna do it.
Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. I mean, yeah, the Titans obviously almost made it to the Super Bowl, but it's just like, how can Derrick Henry do it again? Like, I feel like it's always so hard for running backs to stay consistent because of the constant wear and tear. So it's really interesting to see what he does do next year, but I don't think Ryan Tannehill for $118 million was the answer. So, Titans fans, you had a great team. Love your coach. Go Buckeyes, baby. But...
Or is it?
Sean McVay.
No.
Whoa.
No.
You about to say Sean McVay?
No, I'm thinking no. Don't listen to me.
It's Mike Farbill, buddy.
Yeah.
Pal. You know,
Dude, didn't he say he was gonna? I forget what the.
he had
the bet he made if they won the championship or the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure I forget what he said, but it was funny.
But in case you didn't know, just for Mike, do you know all the records Chase Young broke this year?
Yeah,
He was breaking Mike's records.
that's
So
what you like to see.
He's a beast. So I guess the Titans will see a team that is on this that are next. That's 10-6. That are what the? I mean, I remember it was from our second podcast. It was a great moment. I go, Jacob, what the hell are the Texans doing? And I guess we're gonna get back to it because that trade still seems so stupid to me.
To get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers in the league, for nothing, pretty much.
For a banged up David Johnson.
For an old player, and what they had to like a little draft pick, something like that. Nothing even crazy.
Chump change, man. Chump change. It was just
Chump
like
change out here. But I mean, they were so good last year, and DeAndre Hopkins did so much for that team to get them there.
I mean, besides, the first half they were a half away from going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for real. I mean, they were up 24-0 at one point against the Chiefs.
And then Patrick Mahomes did his $500 million routine.
Did some petty magic.
But I'm dumbfounded by that trade. Dumbfounded.
I just don't understand what positives they were thinking they were going to get out of that.
Unless there was some real internal and external issue with DeAndre Hopkins and the organization. What was the point?
I think I told you there was some fallout between his coach and him, or his coach said something about he basically brought up how he has kids with different women and something like that. And I mean, obviously, there's nothing. Why would you even say that to him? And so, I mean, obviously, they didn't have the best relationship at that point, but still, I mean, it's a professional aspect, and it's your jobs, and I don't know. They just got rid of him way too easily.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the Texans. I mean, Deshaun can still carry them to to a 9 or 10 win season. But just because he is that damn good, Deshaun. I mean, you watching the plays he do. Deshaun is so good.
He's only getting better. I mean,
so I think with any wide receivers, he's still going to be able to do that. But I mean, I still think it's a big hit. It's a big hit for sure.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I mean, their division's tight right now. I mean, you've got the Texans and Titans, and then the Colts are hopefully going to try to compete. I mean, Colts were a game, I think, last year away from making it. So
they're close.
It happens. So pretty sure they played the Titans or the Texans in the last week and lost.
You hate to see that. You really
it was very tough.
Now we're gonna move on to the craziest fans in the NFL. The Bills Mafia. The Bills 10-6 last year, second in the AFC East, and with the addition of Stephon Diggs, I feel like they're only gonna get better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Josh Allen's kind of making a name for himself where he can handle his own, and they drafted Jake Fromm, so I don't know if that's ever going to turn into anything. I doubt it.
Oh my gosh, Jacob. When we talked about the Broncos, we didn't talk about. Oh man, Jacob. Bulls. Can we? You just made me think about it when you said draft. We didn't talk about how the freaking Broncos drafted Jerry Jeudy.
Oh yeah, they kind of got a steal.
Oh man, there's gonna be a Bronco fan that just listened to the podcast, and we're gonna get a comments gonna be like, what the heck? Why'd you not talk about Jerry Jeudy? And then he's gonna get to this point, and I'm sorry, that Broncos fan. Jerry Jeudy's a beast. He's gonna have Drew Lock. We didn't talk about Courtland Sutton either. Jesus, we just talked about the Broncos' new signings, and we didn't talk about what they have. They're gonna have Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton. That team is gonna be so good. I take it back. They're winning 12 games, not 11. I'm giving them an extra game for my goof up. 12 games this year.
Wow.
But now the Chiefs are winning 14. So
we'll see about that. I'd like to see it.
Oh man, I just thought about that and figured it needed to be said.
Yeah, I mean, Bills, they got over Stephon Diggs from the Vikings. That's a big addition for them. Help them compete with these other, I'd say, probably better teams. I mean, the three teams we're going to talk about next are all leagues above.
Yeah, no, without out.
the rest of the conference.
And then the Bills obviously got Tre'Davious White, who I think is the second best corner in the league, and
So I mean, like we talked about their divisions, it's getting better, but it's still a pretty easy division for them to get at least
the
3,
wild
4
card.
games,
At least get the
5
wild card.
games, maybe secure try to get the wild card, and just try to have a repeat of a successful year like last year.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be how Josh Allen plays. If Devin Singletary can stay healthy, because he got some injuries. The rookie out of Florida Atlantic, or wherever he was from. Yeah, I guess we're going to go into the next 3 teams who are, the powerhouses of the AFC. And the next team we're going to talk about is the defending Super Bowl champions. It is the freaking Kansas City Chiefs, straight out of Missouri, not Kansas City, by the way. Not
Fun
Kansas. Fact. Donald. That was so funny, man. Do you remember that?
What?
After the Super Bowl, when Donald Trump said, "You made the whole state of Kansas proud." It had me dying. But I mean, the Chiefs are obviously, they got Damian Williams, they got Sammy Watkins, then they got Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Patrick Mahomes. Like,
you've got some very big, very good names on that offense. I mean, their offense is kind of what they're known for at this point. They just put up high numbers, and they hope their defense can do enough to.
Patrick Mahomes just
in the game.
slings. I mean, they obviously have probably, besides Aaron Donald, the best defensive lineman, and Chris Jones, one of the best. I mean, then they got what? They got some good defensive players. I mean, as a whole, their defense isn't like, something to be scared of. It's more of an offensive powerhouse and getting the offense on the field as quick as possible. But I mean, you got Chris Jones leading the defense. I mean, the Chiefs are gonna chief. You know what I'm saying? They were almost in the Super Bowl last year. Like, Patrick Mahomes was. And he went to overtime with Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes in not his rookie year, but his first year as a starter almost made it to the Super Bowl, and he comes back in his second year and overcomes like a 20-point deficit every single game, even in the Super Bowl. And I mean,
I think it was his 3rd year last year.
Was it? Oh,
I want to say.
Man, well, first year starting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you get me. But yeah, I mean, the Patrick Mahomes is going to dominate this league for at least 10 more years. So,
I mean, yeah, they have enough faith to put him in for the next 10 years.
$500 million. Imagine being 23 years old and signing a contract for $500 million. This guy is literally about 2 to 3 years older than us, Jacob, and he just signed a deal for $500 million.
Yeah, he's not doing too bad for himself. I doubt I'll be doing anything close to that at his age. So
hey, catch us in 3 years when we're the most famous sports podcast in the world.
Maybe when I start training for the NBA and get my fat contract.
Something like that.
Something like that. A man can dream.
So I guess the next team we talk about, probably
New England,
the best defense in the league, with that new look quarterback in Cam Newton. I mean, you got Cam, you got Julian Edelman, you had Antonio Brown.
Mohamed
Sanu. Him and Cam were getting reps in. I saw that on Twitter.
I did see that, yeah.
You got James White, you got Sony Michel, and then obviously you go to that defense, you have the McCourty brothers, you have Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore is the best defensive player in the league.
Dante Hightower
always just been a freaking big, scary linebacker. I mean, their team is good. I mean, I hate the Patriots, but do we have to hate the Patriots anymore? Let's dive into that.
I don't have a thing.
Do we hate the Patriots anymore? Or do we hate the Buccaneers now?
I just don't like Tom Brady. That's
all I got. Are we okay with the Patriots now, or do we still have to hate them? Kind of like, do we still have to hate the Warriors even though KD's gone? It's like, do we still have to hate the Patriots? Because I'm gonna be honest, I loved the Warriors before KD came. I was I loved watching Steph and Clay before they ruined basketball with Kevin Durant, but like I don't got a problem with him now. KD's gone. I don't got a problem with KD. He left.
It's just one of those things. I need like one more year
Yeah,
to
but
kind of let my
that's the
hatred
big problem with me because I love Cam. I want.
I mean, like, I want them to succeed just for the fact to show that it wasn't Tom Brady the whole time.
That'd be.
That's the only like I hope they win the Super Bowl this year with Cam Newton. Just to fight everyone. Literally, I wouldn't care if they beat the Colts in the championship game to get to the Super Bowl. I don't care. Make it happen. Let's go, Belichick.
Oh man.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I wouldn't care.
I know you are. Man, yeah, no.
I mean, obviously, probably the greatest coach in the sport right now. Also,
and the greatest quarterback of all time. Greatest, not most skilled. It's different conversations. The greatest,
most accomplished.
It's the greatest. That means the greatest. Like he is the greatest quarterback from a accomplishment standpoint. And I guess that's why you can say that Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but LeBron James is more skilled.
There's 21 other dudes on the field. I don't know. You won't get it out of me. I'm sorry.
He's 1-6. He's the GOAT. Like he might not be the most skilled, but you don't need to be the most skilled if you can ride your system and do it right from a statistical and a accomplishment standpoint. He is the GOAT.
But it's just so sad because if you put any other great quarterback in his shoes,
and you won't know. You'll never know.
I know. That's the thing. He got lucky. They all didn't.
That's the thing about love, Jacob. It hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to move on to this last team. You know, I feel like it's a team that took America by storm. I feel like everyone is a Ravens fan this year because of one man and one man only, J.K. Dobbins. Oh, wait.
Woo!
No. Oh, no. Sorry. Lamar Jackson. Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. Former MVP.
Rating.
They lost in the first playoff game they played in, but
hey, that
was Lamar's first time leading a playoff team. It happens.
It happens to the best of us.
It's a big game. I get that. It happens, yeah. But I think they come back with a vengeance. Lamar Jackson comes back hungry.
Hey.
That whole team is hungry now. I mean, they went 14-2. Mm-hmm. That's very, very.
Their defense. I mean, how many they had? Like 17, not 17 Pro Bowlers on the defense. What was it, like 9 Pro Bowlers or something?
It might. They had a very good amount. I mean,
it might have been 17.
They're one of the
players.
They're definitely one of those few teams who have the defense to match their offensive capabilities.
I mean, yeah, and then you look at their offense, with Mark Ingram, adding J.K. Dobbins, who I can hope and get some playing time. Obviously, Lamar Jackson. You got Hollywood Brown, Willie Snead. Mm-hmm. I mean, Mark Andrews was a beast. Their rookie tight end this year. He was a stud. He was just good. Like, this whole team is good. I mean, I'm going to say something controversial right here. Bro, I was so happy when they lost in the first round because of all the bandwagon fans this year. I was like, nerds. I mean, I have nothing against the Ravens. I love the hype, and I love Lamar Jackson, but it was all the Ravens fans that came out of the woodworks, just they lost in the first round, and just seeing Twitter the next day was hysterical.
I mean, yeah, I watched that game. It was just They just did not look like the same team they were in that whole season. I mean,
the playoffs is different. Like, everyone always says that, and it's like the cliche. It's like, when especially a lot in the NBA, I feel like it's like, well, this guy's been there before. He knows what it takes, and people that are casuals are like, why does it matter? It's just a game, but it's not. That atmosphere, that pressure,
so much pressure,
desire to win is different.
Plus, anymore, like, the media is so powerful and
it's win or go home. It is a different atmosphere when it comes to playoff elimination games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, now that he's got that experience under his belt, I can definitely see him going in next year, and it's kind of like Patrick Mahomes. I mean,
I feel like
experience.
Yeah, he took his experience of losing in that overtime game to Tom Brady, and he comes back and he makes comeback after comeback after comeback after comeback, and then wins the Super Bowl, becomes the MVP, and gets $500 million.
Yeah, so
The AFC fights between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes is going to be happening for the next decade, and I cannot wait.
it's gonna be good. I mean, you got two very young quarterbacks who are already MVP. I mean, both of them have won MVP,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, they both have won MVP at this point. So that's gonna be so exciting. I
one's
mean, I hope
already
that
won a
it's
Super
kind of like the it's like a new Tom Brady Peyton Manning rivalry in the AFC.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, it's what's up.
It's anyone's year again, but if I had to put some money on it, I'd probably say, you know what? I'm gonna go with the New England Patriots.
Ooh, the win it. All right, okay. I guess now that we've talked about both sides, do you want to just, I don't know, make our predictions for both sides?
Okay, I mean, we can definitely talk about who. Yeah, we can talk about who we think's gonna make it.
All right. Are you ready for the bold claims? It's going to be Chiefs versus the Seahawks. And this is why it's the Seahawks. This is why it's the Seahawks. You know, obviously 11-5 last year, you know. They a good team, but Russell Wilson, obviously a beast. Obviously, right? Russell Wilson's a beast. Tyler Lockett is a beast. You know, great duo. Great freaking duo. But the Seahawks, man. Not only are their jerseys cool, but DK Metcalf.
That's what I thought you were going with.
DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is the next Julio Jones that's gonna be better. I am so high on DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is gonna be one of the best wide receivers in the league next year. Just telling you now.
I saw that picture of him after that one workout where he looked absolutely jacked, that's when I kind of knew he was going to be something special. He looked
like
massive.
Look what he did in the playoffs as a rookie. Like he had, like, oh man, I think that's why I think it's gonna be the Chiefs and the Seahawks, because the Chiefs have a $500 million quarterback on their team. So if they don't win the next 10 Super Bowls, what are you doing? And I think DK Metcalf is just. I'm very high in DK Metcalf. I drafted him in every single one of my fantasy leagues going into it because I was like, I want this guy.
That's a very good choice to have, though. Let's see. If I had to pick, I'm gonna say out of the AFC, I want it to be the Patriots, but I think it's gonna be the Chiefs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes.
It's the safe bet. It's the safe bet.
Plus, I mean, he was injured for 4 games last year, and they still went 12-4. So they're doing all right there, and I think they. I want to say Aaron Rodgers can bring back his old form and take his team to the Super Bowl, but I just don't think he can anymore.
Man, that would be awesome.
I'd love to see him at least be in the Super Bowl one more time. Like, he doesn't have to win it, just to see him perform, do well, or win. I mean, hey, Patrick Mahomes got 10 more years at least, so.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be awesome, man. I think if any team that I'd want to go win the Super Bowl this year that was not the Browns, I mean, it would be. I mean, I might even argue I'd rather. This is gonna sound like a terrible Browns fan. I feel like this given year, I'd rather have the Packers win, because for anyone that does not know, I'm what I classify as a Baker Mayfield bandwagon Browns fan, not an Odell bandwagon. I came through when we drafted, so I didn't have an NFL team. I didn't watch the NFL really till probably like my sophomore, junior year of high school. I was like an NBA nut, and that's like all I cared about. And I was like, screw football. It's not college. You know, I was one of those guys. And I just liked Rodgers. And like that Super Bowl series that he won, that's when I just kind of like associated Aaron Rodgers as my guy. Like in my room growing up, I had the picture of LeBron James catching the lob from Dwayne Wade, and under it I had a picture of Aaron Rodgers in a red jersey throwing balls at a practice. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like for me, I don't know, to see Aaron win another one would be phenomenal.
I'd love to see
Aaron Rodgers is my all-time favorite NFL player.
Yeah, because I was in Pittsburgh at the time still, and I was in school because that's who they played in the Super Bowl, and I never liked the Steelers growing up, so I was like kind of happy.
Ecstatic that you could brag to all your friends and stuff like, huh?
Yeah,
The
the
Steelers lost. Yes, for
Yeah,
the
so
Steelers, I respect.
that was a good year for me.
Nice. Well,
But
Jacob Bulls, we haven't potted in obviously for us 2 weeks. We come back with an hour of power.
yeah, so I mean, I really hope you guys enjoy the NFL content. We love talking about it too. We love talking about basketball as well. I mean, pretty much anything at this point. Whatever's happening, we're gonna at least mention it, I'd say. Um, and is there anything else you want to say while they're listening, Nick?
Screw the Yankees.
Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks. Screw the Yankees. Well, thank you for listening, and I don't know. I don't know if we have anything in mind for next week yet. So if you have any suggestions of what you guys want to maybe hear about, let us know. But other than that, we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Boy!
Bye-bye.